A former WWE champion's contract is set to expire and is a top AEW star set to leave the company. But first, a retired wrestler has been fired from Disneyland. Last week, an image would surface of former independent wrestling star Joey Ryan working at Disneyland in Anaheim, California, with them assisting guests on an attraction named Jungle Cruise. For those unfortunate enough to remember, Ryan was a wrestler that used to use his genitals for offense, often going viral with what was known as the dick flip. His most prominent appearances happened in Impact Wrestling as well as at All In, the precursor to All Elite Wrestling. However, Joey would be called out during the Speaking Out movement in summer 2020, where he was accused of sexual misconduct and harassment by several women from his days in wrestling, and whilst he denied the accusations, he would subsequently be released by Impact before filing several libel and slander cases against the women involved. Court records show that the lawsuits were either dismissed or not pursued by Joey. Since then, he has seemingly been blacklisted from the business, with his last match taking place on June 2nd, 2020. As mentioned, an image of Ryan working at a new job at Disney would surface on social media, with the company having since confirmed that he is no longer employed by the child-friendly company, with them being made aware of the previous allegations. A spokesperson for Disney would release a statement via the LA Times which read, "Mr. Meehan is no longer employed by us." Joey Ryan, real name Joseph Meehan, has attempted to transition into acting since his wrestling days came to an end, although at this point it seems that he is unemployable due to potential public backlash from wrestling fans. Next up, an AEW star has confirmed their departure from the company. Earlier this week, it was hinted at by Dark Order member Alan Angels that his AEW contract had expired, with him no longer being All Elite. Well, yesterday, Dark Order's number 5 would take to Twitter to make an official announcement, revealing that he is indeed no longer with All Elite Wrestling, although at the age of 24, he feels that his wrestling career has only just begun. And he would say, "As of June 30th, my AEW contract has expired. I am nothing but grateful for the 2 years I spent there. I love AEW. It is the best place ever to work. I got to wrestle some of the best wrestlers in the world on a weekly basis, as well as travel to some of the most amazing cities and meet some of the best fans in the world. There are no hard feelings between myself and AEW or Tony Khan. I had a great time in AEW and would have loved to have stayed, but I am extremely excited for my future in pro wrestling. I am 24 and I look at this as my wrestling career just beginning. Now I get to show everyone how good I really am. I'm going to grind harder than I ever have before. I'm going to make as many towns as I can, meet as many fans as I can, and wrestle as much as I can until I'm considered one of the best going today. Thank you for all the support and kind words, and I hope you will continue to follow my journey." As of late, the Dark Order have struggled to find any significant spots on AEW television, this following a recent roster expansion with them having signed a number of established names in a matter of months. This news follows the recent departure of Stu Grayson, who was one of the original members of the faction. With that said, both men seem happy to return to the independent scene where they can gain more reps, perhaps returning at some point in the future after building up their name. But what do you make of Alan Angels leaving AEW? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Jeff Hardy has pled not guilty to charges of DUI. In a fresh report from PW Insider this week, it was noted that following his June 13th arrest in Volusia County, Florida, the AEW star filed his written plea on June 28th, saying he's not guilty. He had been arrested on charges of driving under the influence, his third offense within 10 years, as well as driving with a suspended license and violation of restrictions placed on driver's license. DUI is considered a felony under Florida law, punishable up to 5 years in prison should he be convicted. The others fall under misdemeanors, which are considered crimes punishable with community service, probation, fines, and imprisonment for less than a year. The court filing noted that the defendant has waived his arraignment by filing the written plea of not guilty and waives the right to be present at all pre-trial conferences. This means that the hearing on July 5th, which he was scheduled for, likely will no longer take place as a result. I'm no expert in law, but it's currently unclear how a not guilty plea can be considered given the evidence against him. Either way, we'll follow the story as it develops, with the suspended Jeff Hardy currently in treatment for substance abuse problems. Next up, a top AEW star has suffered from a major concussion. At this past weekend's Forbidden Door show, the finish of the IWGP World Heavyweight title match between Jay White, Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Page, and Adam Cole was rushed, with it being reported that Cole had suffered an injury during the match. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer has reported that the awkward finish to the match, which saw Jay White retain by pinning Adam Cole, was due to Cole suffering what he described as a very serious concussion. This follows a a recent report from Fightful that Cole has been dealing with a torn labrum as far back as his feud with Hangman Page for the AEW World title earlier this year. The report added that Cole has been banged up for quite a while and has been battling a series of injuries for longer than most realize. The injury list in AEW is building up with AEW World Champion CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Jungle Boy, Kyle O'Reilly, Red Velvet, Anthony Bowens, Darius Martin, Layla Hirsch, The Bunny, Buddy Matthews, and Lee Johnson, as well as Santana, all out of action, and we're probably missing some at this point. It's now likely that Cole will take some time off of television, but this has not been confirmed at this point. But before we continue, do you want to get your hands on a free copy of Jon Moxley's autobiography Mox? Well, you can do so by using our Audible affiliate link in the description below, which gives you a free trial as well as one free audiobook. As I said, I recommend the Moxley book narrated by the man himself, although there are also audiobooks by the likes of the Young Bucks, Jim Ross, as well as many other wrestling personalities. So be sure to check out our Audible free trial link in the description below, where you can get the Jon Moxley autobiography for free. And next up, Logan Paul has officially signed with WWE. This week, social media star Logan Paul, who made his name on Vine and YouTube before transitioning into the boxing world, would announce that he has officially signed a contract with WWE, with him locked down for multiple years. According to Ariel Helwani of BT Sport, Logan will work several pay-per-views across the years of 2022 and 2023, with rumours of a match against The Miz at SummerSlam at the end of July. WWE would later release a video with Paul commenting on his decision to sign with WWE and said, "So I just signed my WWE contract with the support of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. This is a massive deal, but let's get one thing straight, because I don't want to get this twisted. I did not sign this contract to team up with The Miz. In fact, I want nothing to do with The Miz. That man is dead to me, he is my enemy, and I signed this contract so that I can beat The Miz's ass at SummerSlam. Let's go." Logan Paul has made several appearances in a WWE ring over the past year and a half, taking part in the past 2 WrestleManias, where this year he would make his in-ring debut. He would team with The Miz to defeat Rey and Dominic Mysterio in a tag team match before Miz turned on him after the match, which seems to be the catalyst for his next bout this summer. But what do you make of WWE signing Logan Paul? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, a former WWE champion's contract is set to expire. This week it has been reported by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that former NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai's WWE contract is set to expire next month, with her recently declining their latest offer of an extension. This has left the future of the Genius of the Sky in doubt, with her said to have told people that she wants to return to her home country of Japan to be closer with her family, with her having no desire of re-signing with the company. If Io were to leave WWE, she would not be subject to a non-compete clause, meaning she could work elsewhere as soon as she likes. Speculation has mounted that she could rejoin the Stardom promotion in Japan to follow the path of another former NXT Women's Champion Kairi Sane, with both wrestlers being arguably the promotion's highest profile exports. With that said, there is said to be no expectation within Stardom that this will happen, but it's certainly a possibility. Shirai would last wrestle in WWE at the NXT Stand and Deliver event in April during WrestleMania weekend, with her since being out injured. She is no doubt one of the most talented women's wrestlers in the world and would be sought after by any promotion, with the free agency market set to gain one more major star. But what do you think the future holds for the Genius of the Sky? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, is a top AEW star set to leave the company? Speaking of expiring contracts, let's head over to All Elite Wrestling, where it is believed that the contract of Santana, one half of Santana and Ortiz, is set to come to an end. In April, Santana would simply tweet 126 days, which points to September 1st being the end of his current deal, with him more recently tweeting the word soon on Monday. On Fightful's AEW Dynamite post-show this week, Sean Ross Sapp would point out that there seems to be ongoing issues between Santana and his longtime partner Ortiz, noting that the duo no longer stand side by side during promos and barely interact when they're together on screen. More notably, the duo has not competed in 2-on-2 action since February, with them only teaming in faction-based matches. It's worth noting that Sapp's words are purely speculation and not a report, but he did have some good points. Interestingly, Santana has been taking singles bookings outside of AEW for a number of months, this without his tag partner, a further sign that he could be going his own own way in the near future. This past Wednesday night, he would pick up an injury during the Blood and Guts match, although the extent of this is not yet known, but could delay any potential singles run outside of AEW. But what do you think of the speculation surrounding Santana and Ortiz? Let me know in the comments down below. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 wrestlers you forgot wrestled in AEW.